the name of the prayer. Okay, now how do I've got the prayer up.
We see it.
We can see it.
We see
You can
it.
see it?
Yeah.
We can see it now.
Okay.
We can
So
see your
that's
screen.
it.
Yep,
Okay.
we got 2 lines.
Right. Okay. Does somebody want to read? This is Barhu is the opening prayer for every service.
Oh, God.
And in the old days, they would actually go through the streets because they didn't have a Zoom or a microphone or a megaphone. They would go through the streets bringing the people
Yeah.
in.
They send them
Right.
from.
So is somebody
They
want to
want to know where
try?
it's coming from. It's
Try.
legally.
Okay,
It's
go
gotta
ahead.
further up. The law has,
Okay, Fran's gonna try.
I'm gonna
that's stupid not to check.
Barhu et Adonai Hambarach.
Right.
Baruch Adonai
Good thing you were-
Hambarach.
Well, okay, you know what? Let's let one person at a time speak.
Can I suggest everybody mute unless it's their
I
turn
was
to
just gonna
speak?
say that. Thank you. You guys are so good.
That's great.
Huh.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, who was reading? Fran, go ahead.
Well, they start getting the dryers in if it's continuing to leak. That's
Barhu et Adonai Hambarach.
Can you read it, not sing it? Because, okay,
probably.
I'm glad. I don't know voice. Baruch Adonai
read the first word.
Baruch Leolam Va'ed.
Oh,
Okay,
well, it's a little early to call the insurance company.
all right.
Yeah,
Is
you
there
gotta
some,
find out
excuse
how
me,
many
Rona, can you
jobs
mute yourself?
Still going. That's the,
Oh, I think I can mute everybody, can
I'm taking a little course now.
I?
Yeah.
Taking me. I
Sure,
want to
so,
look for, somebody want to help me find
I'll
mute?
call you when it's over.
All right, okay. All right, Suzanne, you want to try reading just the second line?
Me, Susan Handy.
Yes, Susan, yeah,
You want me to do the second line?
just the second line.
Oh, would you want Suzanne? or Susan?
Wait, I'm gonna mute everybody if I can figure out where to do it. All right.
Joanne, do you want Suzanne or Susan? Which one?
How about we'll do Susan and then we'll do Suzanne. As long as
Joanne, if you go to your participant list, you click on the bottom
I
participant.
don't see the participant list. I'm on share.
You can't see it when you're sharing.
Right, I remember
Okay.
you told me that. All right.
Joanne,
Yeah, I'm listening.
it's Julia. Can I just interrupt for a minute?
Please, my dear.
Okay. Probably you want to stop sharing and then go to the participant screen and keep that window open
Okay, wish
so
me luck.
you can see.
Okay, now I will.
And I just wanted to break into the class and introduce myself to those that don't know me yet. My name's Julia Loeb. I'm the co-chair of the Education Committee for Women's League, and we're the ones that organized this class. So the emails came from me, if not from Joanne. So I just wanted to welcome you and glad that you all made it on. Some of the other classes had some tech problems this morning, but it looks like you guys found your way here, and I'm glad you're here. And if you have any questions or issues, please reach out to me. My email, you had it from the emails from me, but it's jloeb@wlcj.org.
Nice to meet you.
And Joanna, did you get the participants screen open
Yes,
so you
and
can
I-
mute? And then there's
Yeah.
mute all at the
Yeah, I
bottom.
don't want to mute you.
That's okay. I would unmute.
Okay, and thank you.
Thank
Up
you.
until
Have a
now,
good
we were doing
class.
well. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay. All right, we're gonna try again. Okay. Okay. Okay, I have Suzanne up now. Suzanne,
I'm here,
Okay.
but I
okay,
don't see the script.
1 second.
Good, thank you.
Wait, there it is. Okay. Got it?
Nope, not yet. Here we go. So
Okay,
line 2. Baruch
line 2.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach Leolam Voed.
Okay, and does someone want to try, I guess, Susan, do you want to try line 1?
Sure. Baruch et Adonai Hambarach.
Okay, I think we can, it doesn't seem, is there anybody that feels this is not, that it's easy enough for them? They don't need to, we don't need to belabor the point. Is there anyone that feels, do you all feel comfortable enough that we can move on to something harder? Why am I not hearing anything?
Because everybody's muted.
Right, and I have to go back to participants.
No,
and
they
I'm
can
gonna-
unmute themselves if they want to talk.
Okay, unmute yourselves.
Okay.
All right, does anybody feel, does everybody feel comfortable that this is easy enough for them?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
that's good.
Good, okay. Let me ask you one question. The first word, there are 4 words in there. Because I like to talk about the roots of words. I don't know if you talked about that in the past. The bet, if you notice in the first line, the first word, there's a bet, a resh, and a chaf. In the last word, just ignore the first 2 letters. You have a bet or a vet, a resh, and a final chaf. On the second line, you have again a bet, a resh, and a chaf. And on the third word, ignore the hey and the mem, you have a vet, a resh, and a chaf. Does anybody know what that word means? Okay, you do know it actually. The word means bless. In Hebrew, almost all words are 3 root letters with letters, prefixes and suffixes that are added on. And we'll learn a couple of the suffixes and prefixes. You won't learn exactly what the word means, but at least we know this has something to do. Blessed is God is blessed, blessed him forever and ever. So bet, resh, chaf means bless. And you see it starts all blessings always start with Baruch. Atah. Okay. Any questions about that? I think it seems pretty simple, but it's not something that we just kind of overlook it. So I'm going to go to a harder prayer. How's that, ladies?
It's fine.
Fine, it's fine. I'm going to find a real hard one. All right, I'm going to go to, all right, let's see if this works. Okay. Does anybody recognize this prayer? Just speak out.
The Shema.
It's the Via Hafta, which is the first word of the prayer.
Right, okay. And is there some, and if I go down on the left, I guess, it's the whole prayer, yes. And where do we find this prayer besides the Torah and the Bible and the prayer book?
The Shema.
You find this prayer in the mezuzah. You find it in tefillin.
Tefillin, right.
You always find it after the Shema.
Well, yes, it's fine. And it's actually straight from the Torah. It's actually from the straight out. All right, Judith, since you were so good to speak up, would you like to read the 3rd line?
Okay. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele.
Right.
Asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha.
Okay. On the 3rd, if everybody looks at the 3rd line, that the word mitzavcha, can you see that that's an unusual word? And why? Why? Can anyone see why? It's Hebrew is always a letter and a vowel, a letter and a vowel, a letter and a vowel. In that word mitzavcha, what do you see that looks strange? Anybody? Are you all unmuted?
the vowel is in underneath the ha, the last word, is that, the last letter, is that a ha?
That's a cha, and the only reason it looks like that, and it looks like that in the Siddur, just because of the way it's written. There's no other place to put it, but it's part of, it belongs to the cha. Okay. What about the third letter? Is that
The one with the 2 dots under it?
Uh-huh, but I thought it was an ooh. It's got a dot in the middle. What's going on there?
It's,
All right. Since you have the tzaddik, everyone knows that tzaddik has a vowel. The next one cannot be a vowel. That little dot is part of the trope. I didn't know that for a long time. I would just say mitzavchan. One day, a few years ago, I took a look at it and said, wait a second, that doesn't make sense. I asked our rabbi, and there are a couple of words that are like that. So the word is mitzavcha. Okay. Is there someone else who would like to read line 5? Just raise your hand or just speak out. Is this a little hard for you? Okay. Sharon, you want to try?
I'll try.
Okay.
Uvlechtecha
Right.
Derek.
Right.
Uvshekavecha.
Uvshach. Uvkumecha. Okay. Suzanne, would you like to try the 6th line?
The 6th line.
Yeah.
The first letter. How is that
It's an
pronounced?
ooh. It's ooh. The first. Oh, you mean? Yeah. The letter is a k.
The first is a
Shetom
vowel.
leot al yodecha.
Okay.
Yo
V'hayu.
V'hayu let to fesh.
One more. Let's do one more time. Leto.
Leto face.
No, the second letter is the same. Leto. I mean the third letter. Leto. Ta.
Lotota.
Boat.
Lotota.
Which letter is giving
I'm
you
not
a
getting
problem?
the word. Just say the whole word for me.
Letota foat.
Latota what?
Letota foat.
Foat. It's okay. Latota foat bein einecha.
Okay, and that's the tefillin that goes, you know. And I think the reason it's there is to remind you. You go like that. All right. Let's see who else I have. I haven't spoken to because I don't have. Let me get. I can't get a list of participants. All right, I'm just go down my list and see what happens. Okay. Rona.
Okay. Line 7.
Okay.
Uchtavta al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
Right, it's telling you what's a mezuzah. We all know. It's to put it up on your doorpost. Joanne, is Joanne here? I don't think she was here. Answer to me, I've never met too many Joannes. Sharon, I think you already read.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll come back to you later. Judith, do you want to pick a line?
Which line? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Whichever one you like.
Okay, are we still on line 7 then?
Whichever line of those 1 through 7, pick one you like.
That I can see. Okay, I can see 4 through 7.
Okay.
All right, how about line 5?
Okay.
Uvlechtecha baderech.
Right.
Uvshachbacha. Excuse me. Uvkumecha.
Excellent. Okay, how about Beverly?
Line 7, Uvtabtam al mezuzot
Ve'techa uvishareka.
Okay. Let's go back to line 1 through. Okay. How about Beth Fox? Beth Fox? Robin. Robin should be here. Okay, she's there. Marlene Glantz.
Didn't
Oh,
see
she's not
her.
here. She shouldn't. No, I don't have her here. Marilyn. Marilyn? Somebody leave us? Did I scare her off?
Which line? Line 1?
Whichever 1 through 4, whichever one you like.
Okay, I'll try line 1. V'ahavta
Mhm.
et Adonai Elohecha.
Okay, very good. Karen. Carol Graham.
Can I just have a question?
Sure.
Very simple. Sometimes I get mixed up between when you pronounce the B and the V, the bet and the vet.
Okay, the bet has a belly button.
Okay.
But the vet does not. Belly button in the bet. That
Okay.
well done. And usually, and I think I also just recently learned this, usually if it's the first letter, it usually has a dot. If it's the second letter, it's usually a vet. I don't know if that's all the time, but belly button for the bet. Does
Okay.
that help you? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, there's another one that a lot of us mix up is the cuff that looks like a C and a cuff. Cuff and the cuff, you know what I'm talking about? But nod your head, yes, yes. Okay. The cuff has a cookie crumb in its throat. Cuff. The cuff spits it out. I tell you, they love that in the 4th grade. So cookie crumb has a dot. Cookie has a dot, something in its throat. Okay, that's a good question. That's a really good question. And I hope the belly button helps you. Carol Graham.
Yeah. So line 2, Bakol Livavka, Uvakol Naf Shaka.
Shaka, Naf Shaka. So there is never a final cuff. If it's at the end, it's always a ch. Does that make sense? Okay.
Uvakol Meodecha. Okay, that's line 2.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Susan, I think you already read.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And Sandra, I don't think she's here.
Line 4.
Okay.
V'shinantam levonecha v'dibarta bam. V'shivtecha.
Okay. You see the 2 dots next to each other in the middle? When the beshiv techa gives you a little rest between the vet and the tough. Gives you those 2 dots, give you a little rest because it's a long word. It's hard to get it out. So it's beshiv
techa.
Beshiv techa. Beshiv techa.
Beshiv techa.
Beautiful.
Bevetecha.
Excellent. Okay, who has not read? I guess Deborah Katzen.
Okay, I'll also try for 4.
Okay.
Uvi.
What's the first letter?
The.
Good. Okay.
Okay. Vashina natech tam levanecha v'dibarata.
V'dibarta.
V'dibarta bam b'shiv techa b'vei techa.
Okay. Anybody know what a bayit is? House. And this means in your house. You should put up a mezuzah in your house. Okay. And I guess that was Deborah that just read. And Sheila. Sheila, have you read? I can't hear you. Hello? Oh, Sheila? Sheila? I get Sheila? I don't hear anybody. Are you all muted?
Joanne,
Yes.
where's the word buy it in number 4?
Okay. See the vet, if it was the first word, if it was the first letter, it would be a bet. Remember I said usually the first letter would be a bet, the second will not have the dot. So it's vait or buy it. It's just the thing with Hebrew, and this makes me crazy, is it has root words in lots and lots. It's almost always 3 letters. It's the vowels that change the meaning of the word, the tense of a word, sometimes the gender of a word. So when you're reading from the Torah, you know, there are no vowels. And it's very important because the vowels change the meaning of the word.
But in line 4, which is the buy it?
The buy it is the second letter, the vet. See, ignore the vowels. Ignore the vowels. You've got
Joe, let me just say the word buy it is in the last word of line 4. So that would be the last letter. Joan, you have the ability to underline. So what you could do is if you go to view options on your where it's screen, it should say annotations, and you can underline the word.
I don't see anything like that.
You usually have that on your screen. Well,
no, that's
there you've got it.
Okay, so you've just highlighted it, which is fine.
But I just want the vet, the yud, and the tuf. Where do you live, Judith?
I live in Long Island, Williston Park.
I'll come visit you. You'll come give me.
I'll give you a tutorial over the internet. Okay.
Well, Julia's helped a lot, but it sure is different when you're doing it. So it's the bet, the yud, and the tuf is the word buy it. Ignore the vowels. Ignore them as far as just the meaning of it. And I thought that would be a word you would know. Okay. What is something about this prayer that you notice about the last letter in a lot of words? I'll give you this one and you go down mostly, I think, in here.
It's the cuff.
Somebody just said it.
The cuff.
Right, it ends in a chaf. The chaf at the end of the word means you or yours. God is talking to you. He is telling you to put up a mezuzah. He's telling you to wear tefillin. He's telling you to talk about or believe in God and one God morning and night. He's telling you to be a good example to your children. And to teach your children. That's why I used to tell the kids that's why you're in Hebrew school, because your parents sent you, they're fulfilling this mitzvah. So it's a direct talk to us that we should carry on. I'm going to try to go back to the Shema, and it's part of the Shema. The Shema, we all know this, the 6 or 8 words, whatever it is. This is part of it. There's a blessing before and a blessing after. Can I go? No, yeah, wait, I want to go to the Shema. Okay. I'm getting good. Oh, you can't see it on this, in this book. Okay.
We got it.
Okay, but you can't see what I want to show you. Well, maybe I can do this one. See the ayin, the Shema, and the Daled? Okay. Okay, but you see, just it means, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is Lord is one. You know, yeah. Okay. In the Torah, the ayin and the daled are written bigger. The reason they're written bigger, and some of the prayer books have it, that take a look in your prayer book if you go, you know, take a look. The reason they're bigger, the word aid, ayin, daled, means witness. And what does a witness do? When you're up on that stand and you know, I'm a witness and I'm going to tell
The truth.
the truth. And what you're witnessing, that there is only one God. I'm testifying that there is only one God. And if you ever get a chance to see in the Torah, it really is there. And it's all, and a lot of the prayer books have it that way too. So, the other
Which word,
go ahead.
which word meant witness?
The last letter of the Shema, the ayin, and the last letter of the daled means witness. Whether it's a coincidence, whether it was written that way, who only knows?
Okay, thank you.
But you're testifying that I believe in one God. I'm sure you know. Do you all know what gematria is? A lot of the older,
Yes.
I think a lot of older rabbis in the old days had nothing to do because their wife was in the kitchen cooking and cleaning, and they like to play with the words, and they like to assign numbers to the letters and play all kinds of games with and that's one of the things, the ayin and the daled, that you're a witness to God. And the chaf at the end means you. This prayer is talking directly to you. I have, before we continue, and I guess you all read it pretty well, but I have a feeling you're not really 100% reading. Is that accurate assessment? Let me go back I'm going to put this away because I don't think we need it right now. Now, how do I get, Judith, help me. How do I get back to, here we go. Nope, I want to go back to participants. How do I get out of this? Help.
Just stop screen share.
How clever that is. Okay, thank you. That makes a lot of sense. I learned a lot today. I hope I can remember it for tomorrow. I don't know if you want to continue prayer. I would like to do some other, what I'd like to do is, there are some prayers that you particularly would like to learn, and maybe we could concentrate on those.
Elena.
Okay, that's
and Ashrei.
Okay, Ashrei is a big, long project. I mean, I think that's good. Ashrei, yeah. No, it is. It's a good one. Anybody else? Kit Kaddish, anything like that?
Yeah, I would like to go over the Kaddish as well.
Okay. I don't know how we'll do it. Because they're pretty long, pretty extensive prayers. I don't think we need to belabor V'ahavta much anymore. Does anybody have any questions that they? Oh, I stopped sharing. How'd I get back to this?
Would it help if we each brought a prayer book to class?
It would. The problem can be, we can do it both ways. I can do it on the screen and you can bring a prayer book. Of course, not all prayer books are the same, and I'm assuming you want to use your own prayer book, you know, your own synagogue prayer book, which is fine with me if that's what you want to do.
But I mean, only would the pagination be different, correct, Joanne?
Right.
The words would be the same.
Right. So I would have to.
But if we knew the prayer, there's an index in the front of the book.
Right. And I could, I could do it ahead of time and let you know which, because like the Kaddish is on in several different places and they're
Right.
all a little different. So yeah, if you want to bring your own, that's perfect. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
The question I have, a lot of the prayers that I read because I've been saying the same prayer all the time, like for memorization.
Right.
I get confused in a lot of the actual letters because I learned it years ago and I've been, for the past couple of years, I've been slacking. Like years and years ago when I learned, I went every Saturday and every Friday night.
Pay attention, sure.
I stopped doing that because I just don't have the time or, to do it. And now when I look at a prayer, I can say a prayer because I know it, but I don't know
Right.
the words. I mean, I
Well-
know the words. I don't know the specific letters.
I understand that, and that's why we talked about the bet and the vet and the chaf and the kaf, and the other ones you probably get mixed up are the ayin and the tzaddik.
Yeah. I mean, the prayer.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody. So yeah, that's we'll concentrate. That's why we're reading instead of singing them. And what I like to do is, pick out different words, make you stop and look at the word. I mean, it's not, I mean, we're all like that. Even I do sometimes. I'm singing along and was like, wait a second, I didn't know that word was there. So we all do that. It's that's why we're here. So we don't do that. Yeah. Any other thoughts or questions?
What about the Kiddush for Shabbat?
The whole Kiddush or just the first line?
No, the whole.
The whole Kiddush? Okay, that sounds like a good one too. I like that one.
I would be interested in the prayers that are particular to the conservative movement.
I think we're all part of the conservative movement.
Oh, I agree.
Conservative movement, reform movement, reconstructionist movement. So that would be interesting to look into.
I don't know if we're gonna have enough time. I think this ends the middle of December, I believe. Last ends December.
February.
February.
February is what.
December.
Yeah, they said February.
It
It ends in February? Okay, someone told me December, and she's usually right
My
about
calendar
everything.
said December too.
I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
February.
Okay. This gal's like never wrong. I can't wait to tell her she's wrong. She really isn't. She reads Torah. She does a beautiful job. So I can't wait to tell her. But I'll check it out also. So I want to check dates. Okay. And I think maybe the next one, I think we should start with Aleinu.
Good.
Because that comes at the end of the service, and I know when we get to Aleinu, I know it's time to go home. Hallelujah! We have a big lunch in our synagogue, so I know it's time for lunch. So we'll start with Aleinu. So if you want to take a look at it, Aleinu ends every single service, morning, noon, or night. Another thing to tell you is that we, as you well know, we pray 3 times a day. Okay, and I could send you a little. The morning is called Shachrit.
Great.
The afternoon is Mincha in the afternoon and Mariv in the evening. Okay. Although we didn't read a lot today, I hope we'll have, better and more chance to read, and I'll be a little better on sharing. I'm sure Aleinu is in that book. The other thing that I should mention is the Shema is not just the Shema. It's something. It's a blessing before, and the Via Hafta and blessing afterwards. So it's more. You kind of have to warm up, do the Shema, and then kind of cool down. I mean, and a lot of the prayers are like, we don't just hop into a service. You have to kind of warm up, you get your mindset, get into the service, and then finish up. The other thing that since we brought up the bet, which has what inside of it?
Belly
Belly
button.
button, and the
Belly.
cuff that has what's inside of it?
The crumb.
Okay.
Crumb. The tuft, sometimes you see it, that comes at the end of the alphabet. The tuft sometimes has a dot and sometimes doesn't. Sephardic Jews ignore that dot. It doesn't mean anything. When you're speaking Yiddish, it like you say, good Shabbos. It's a tough. I don't even know if it has the dot or not. In Ashkenazic, it makes a difference. Sephardic, which is what they speak in Israel, the dot in the tough means nothing to us. Just ignore it. So a tough is a tough. Okay. Are there any questions?
Yes,
I
I have one.
Go ahead.
I have my hand up. The email of September 12th said this class goes till February 4th.
Oh, okay.
If you-
Okay. Somebody who's organized. Okay. I'm going to be away in January. That's why I'm worried, but I hope I can use my husband's laptop. I can't worry about it today. Any other questions? Any other
I have a
thoughts?
question. I have a question. This
Go
is,
ahead, Bev.
What's the difference in pronunciation between Torah and Torah?
Torah is Hebrew. Torah is sort of English. Generally, the Hebrew accent is generally on the last syllable. So Torah is, how when you go up in an aliyah to the Hebrew word, same letters, same vowels, is aliyah. It means to go up. You're going up to the Torah. You're going up to God, whatever it is. So it generally the Hebrew pronunciation, and the pronunciation is on the last syllable. We also, and the prayer Amida.
Yeah.
Amidah is the correct Hebrew way to say it. I use both. It depends on whom, what I'm talking about. Generally. Okay. Okay. And what does anybody remember what Baruch means?
Blessed.
Blessed. Other words that you would know, like Kiddush and Kedusha. Kiddush, is wine. It would say blessing over the wine. Kedusha is a prayer. Comes from the word and I'll go over this a lot. Comes from the word kadosh, kaf daled shin, which means holy. Do you have a chevra kedusha in your synagogue? That's the group that dresses the body for burial, which of course we aren't doing now. Kedusha, kaf daled shin, means holy. You're making them holy before they go on to wherever they. Those are two roots that are important. You see them a lot in the prayers. You ignore the vowels, ignore some of the letters in the front and back. So Kadosh is holy, Baruch is blessed. Okay. I think I have.
Marilyn has a question, Joanne.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Marilyn.
Yeah, you mentioned that we should practice, and I was wondering if you recommend the online program that you used today, the Berman House Online,
Yes,
or is there another way we should practice?
Yes. And I'll email you with what I think we should practice, Alenu and the Berman House information, which is very easy to get to. And if I say it's easy, by now it's easy. And I'll look into I'll let you figure out where the page would be in your own Siddur. I know we use Sim Shalom, and I think I have is it Shalem Lev? Does anybody use anything else?
Yeah, we're Lev Shalem.
Okay. Anybody else use anything else?
We use
I've got
Siddur Hadash.
What is it?
Siddur Hadash.
See if the rabbi has a copy. Okay, I never heard of it. Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Siddur Sim Shalom.
That's the one we use, so
Okay.
I can easily tell you
Right.
that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. It's Elena's on page 11 in Siddur Sim Shalom.
It
Okay.
depends which issue.
Yeah, I was just
There's
gonna
a
say,
weekday and Susan, there's a weekday and a Shabbat one. Blue one is Shabbat.
I have the Shabbat one.
Yeah.
okay, it's further on than 11. We're going to concentrate on prayers that are for Shabbat. I'm assuming that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
Because Elena will be at end of the morning service, the afternoon service, and the evening service. And I'll do the Saturday morning service. I'm just assuming. I think Elena, it might not make a difference. Some of them it changes a little bit. So, okay. I think
51 in the blue book.
what is it?
51 in the Sim Shalom for Shabbat.
It's further on. It's further on. It's further
But
on.
it's-
I'll send, because
It
that's,
depends which issue you have, the date.
Oh,
on.
all right. Mine
Okay.
may be old, whatever
One
it
sec,
is.
I have an
I,
older
I
one.
will, I will email it to you and the
Okay.
information about Berman House and about the few things we talked about today. Because she told me we had to get off on time. So I kind of hate to leave now, kind of getting used to it. But and it was it Judith that helped me with the Zooming? I appreciate it. Let me tell you, I was up half the night worrying. My husband crazy. So if anybody has any questions, no, I'm going to say lehitraot. We will see you again.
Lehitraot.